What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at another total anime action figure from the Jazwares anime line. It is Deku, or Izuku Midoriya, another one that I have really been wanting to get my hands on, and following the news of the SH Figuarts Todoroki pre-order update, I feel like this was the perfect one to dive right into. So let's go ahead and get right into it, starting off with the sexy packaging. Now for the box, it is literally the same thing we got with the Yuji Itadori figure. The only difference is the colors and of course the pictures on the box. First off, you got the window where you can see the figure. It looks okay. Some of these faceplates I'm not that excited about, but we'll talk about those once we get to them. You got the image of Deku right here, powered up with the full cowling, looking amazing. It says My Hero Academia right there, Total Anime at the bottom, Jazwares logo at the bottom, 13 pieces streaming on Crunchyroll. The new season is pretty fire. Go check that out if you haven't already. Nothing much going on at the top here, nothing much at the bottom. My Hero Academia on the side. He is number 4 in the line. I'm gonna try to get my hands on Chainsaw Man. If you guys want to see that, feel free to let me know. I want the Kaneki, but I don't see that happening because I can't find it. Anyway, we also got Deku right here, Izuku Midoriya right here. Image of the figure on the back, looking a little bit better in this promo image than it actually does in person, but we'll talk about that later. And then you got some more figures at the bottom. We did review Yuji. Go check that out if you haven't already. Chainsaw Man, gonna try to get, we're not touching that Anya. I'm not feeling that. But anyway, let's go ahead and bust this open so we can see what this figure is all about. Now, funny story about this figure right here. If you guys watched my Yuji review from Jazwares, then you'll know I found that Yuji unexpectedly. And during that review, I kept saying there was no way I was going to run into the rest of these figures because I never find new action figures in my town until much later. I can't tell you guys the last time I found a new Marvel Legends, but it's not like I'm really looking for them. But still, this guy right here was one that I said in the video, there is no way I'll ever find this in my town. And funny enough, as soon as I uploaded that review of Yuji, I went to Walmart and here this guy was. It's insane, yo. I've been sitting on this figure for a couple of days, but I have been busy and now we're finally here to review it. And straight out of the packaging, I gotta say, it's not as good as Yuji, man. Not as good as Yuji. Just looking at it, you guys can probably already see that. And you guys have probably watched a couple of reviews on this, but this figure is very, 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 very sloppy. And we're about to talk about that right now as we take a closer look at it. So getting up close and personal, I do first off want to say, I'm going to go ahead and get all the negatives out of the way as I covered what few positives we have. Actually, I'm going to get the positives out of the way first. When it comes to the positives, the body of the figure looks good. The sculpt work and the detail and everything look exactly like they should. I mean, this looks like Deku's costume from, I think, maybe season 2, early season 3, before he changed things up a bit. He added Gran Torino's cape and all of that. It's somewhere around there, but it's definitely not his look for the new season, as he did make a few changes to the costume. It is a bit more advanced. Now, other than that, from the looks of it, the articulation and everything's going to be good, but of course we'll cover that when we get to it. And that's all I got for the goods. Now moving on to the bads. First of all, this head sculpt. You guys see it. This faceplate looks terrible. This is the one that comes with him in the packaging, and it doesn't look good, yo. And I know it's a domestic figure, but coming off of Yuji and then getting this guy, it just doesn't look as good. And I got to point it out. I just got to say it. It's to be expected. It's a $20 figure, but I still got to point it out. And then the hair sculpt. His hair sculpt is supposed to be much wider, much more flared out. This is kind of sculpted upwards, so it almost looks like a miniature mohawk, just a bit. So that's not really that good either. And then when it comes to the paint work on this guy, it is so bad, you guys. Like, it's I don't know how this past quality. Like, this is so bad. It literally looks like they painted the figure the way that it was supposed to be, and then someone said, okay, go in and add some shading, and they used charcoal to do it. Like, it just, I don't know what is going on. Look at this chest, yo. What is happening here? Like, I don't know. It's so bad, y'all. And then even on the back, it's the same. It looks like this figure got, I don't know. Like, it looks bad everywhere. I can't even begin to explain how bad this looks. And I get it's supposed to be shading. It looked good on Yuji, but how they fumbled it so bad on Deku, I do not understand. And then even on the arms, these gauntlets are supposed to be like a tan-ish, beige-ish color. They could have gone with white if they wanted to, but they should have kept it a solid color because it doesn't look good, man. Honestly, the only colors that look, the only paint on this figure that looks good is the head, the belt, and everything below the padding that he has for his legs. Everything else is just very, very bad looking, man. This is not a clean figure at all. And it would have been so much better if they just didn't add this black, quote unquote, black wash on here. So in terms of the overall look of the figure, sculpt work and detail is all there. Faceplate could use some work. Hair sculpt could definitely be a little bit more anime accurate, but the paint could have been solid, but I gotta give it like a 3 out of 10 for this horrible shading. But anyway, let's go ahead and put him back so we can see how tall he stands. So this figure is 6.5-inch scale. So as you would expect, he is a tad bit taller than the average 6-inch figures, especially if you're comparing him to imports. But to the top of his head, as you guys can see, he's right at about 6 inches to the top of his tallest hair. To the top of his forehead, he is a little bit above 5 inches. We'll say about 5.25, not quite 5.5. So on the smaller side, but still taller than your average. And of course, I will show him off more once we get to the size comparisons. When it comes to the articulation, this piece right here is a floating piece, so you can move it around however you want to. It's a very, very soft plastic, so it does help when it comes to having him look up, so that's really good. He does look down quite a bit, but then that is going to pop off, and we're going to keep that in the video so you guys can see it. I'm actually going to keep that piece off. So he looks down about that much, which I think is decent. And honestly, from this side, the faceplate looks good, and then you turn him to the front, and ooh. All right, anyway, he does get really good tilt and turn. I don't think I had that all the way on there, so yeah, there's that. But that's good, man. I can't complain about that. When it comes to the arms, though, all right, this is weird. It doesn't look like his arms go out at all. Okay. Yeah, well, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. It was just really tough plastic. Okay, they do go out about that much, so that's cool. I was gonna say, if the arms can't go out, then this is an automatic fail in the articulation department, but they do. And then you can, it's really tough though. You can maneuver them around just fine. The chest is a very soft plastic. It's still gonna hinder the articulation a bit. You can bring the arms in about that much. He does have a butterfly joint, but it's not the best. So yeah, it's in there, but you can barely see it unless you really tug on this arm. And even then, you guys probably still can't see it because of the lighting, but it is there. He does have a peg hole in the back. So if you want to put a stand on this guy, this one's hard to take out. There we go. You can do that. So there's that. Not that it's needed. Anyway, torso articulation at the diaphragm, really good. He leans back very far, but sadly, you get this gapping in there. So it's not going to work because it really only goes back about that much. Otherwise, you can't hide it. So yeah, he doesn't really crunch forward very much. Rocker's good, but again, gapping. At the waist, he turns a little bit, still not much, but he does crunch forward a little, but then that's what's going to happen if you go too far. So really the only pose he can hold is about right here, which honestly isn't very much. And I just realized I skipped the whole arm. Anyway, he does have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. The hands are on a hinge and they move around just fine. fine, so that's good. No, anyway, got that out of the way. When it comes to the legs, drop down, kicks up about that much, so that's cool. And when it comes to kicking out, he kicks all the way out. This is definitely the best part of it. He does have a swivel built into the thigh right here. I would have loved it if they just gave him a thigh cut. That would have made it so much better, but they didn't. When it comes to the knees, they are double jointed, but I think this is about as much as you're going to get. Be careful with these. Honestly, if I was you guys, heat this up before you start doing what I'm doing. I'm just reviewing this straight out of the box, and I really shouldn't be. When it comes to the foot, no swivels or anything down here. So it goes down about that much, up about that much. Really good ankle rocker, no toe hinge. So yeah, articulation-wise, it's okay. It's not bad, but it definitely could be better. When it comes to accessories, you don't really get a whole lot with this guy, but I think that you get what you need because, first off, he comes out of the package with this kind of excited look, which, again, this is easily the worst expression out of all the ones he comes with. You get this smiling face, which doesn't look too bad. It is his signature smile, so I'm glad they included it. And then you get the best looking one, which is this teeth gritted face. This one I do really, really like. You do get a pair of fist hands, as he should have. And then you do get the finger flick also. Shout out to everyone who knows the name of this attack. I do. Comment below if you do know it. Then he does come with several of these energy effect for the full cowling. This is probably the best part about it to me. You get 5 different ones also, all different scopes. It's not like they reused anything, so that's really cool. And then lastly, you do get this foot stand, which it's strange because they give them the stand to, or they give them the peg hole in the back, but they give them a foot stand. So maybe they know we're going to use other stands with these figures, or at least plan to. It's still cool that they do that, but it is unnecessary. Either way, a decent amount, so I can't complain about these. Moving on to some size comparisons, here he is standing next to a few SH Figuarts. First off, we have him standing next to the SH Figuarts event exclusive Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegito. We also have him standing next to the SH Figuarts Jujutsu Kaisen Greatness Satoru Gocho. And then we have him standing next to it SH Figuarts Spy Family Lloyd Forger. All taller figures, just so you guys can see how tall he is standing next to them. Here he is standing next to the Figma My Hero Academia Deku, and as you can see, he's a tad bit taller than him, but not too much. We've also got him standing next to a Jada Toys Fei Long, and then a NECA Red Turtle. I don't know his name. It's one of them. And last but not least, here he is standing next to the Jazwares Yuji Itadori, which I did review. Go check that out. We've got him standing next to the McFarlane Toy Shigaraki, which I'm starting to realize is way too tall. But we all know McFarlane Toys and proper scaling should not be used in the same sentence. And then we also got him standing next to a McFarlane Toys Harry Potter. And I put this one in here because I've been playing Hogwarts lately alongside Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So yeah, enjoy that. So when it comes to my final thoughts on this figure, guys, if you want to pick this one up, it is entirely up to you. If you're willing to give it a repaint, then I would say it's definitely a good figure to pick up. If not, and all of the horrible, just all over the place paintwork on the green is going to bother you, then I would say, nah, leave this one alone. Now, that's not to say it's a bad figure, because it definitely isn't. Like, even standing in this pose I've got him in right now, I feel like it looks cool. And I would enjoy it a whole lot more if the facial expressions were a tad bit better and the paintwork was better. And when it comes to the paint, they literally just could have left off all the black and it would have been fine. Like all the quote-unquote black wash that they tried to put for shading, if they had left all of that off, it would have made this figure, in my opinion, 10 times better. The head sculpt doesn't bother me that much. It's just that I know it's not accurate. And so I didn't actually show what an accurate Deku hair sculpt is supposed to be like. But here is the Figma right here. As you can see, it's much more flared out on the sides versus kind of coming forward. And that's where they messed up. Now, that's not to say it's horrible, because in my opinion, it's not. And I actually just realized something too. Hold on. Let me put this back right here. And then let's bring this guy back out. Deku's hair is supposed to have some black shading, or not necessarily black, but a very dark green shading in the front, and they didn't include that, but they added all that extra black shading on the body. So something like that could have made it better too. That's not a big complaint. It's just something I wanted to throw out there. Honestly, it's not that deep, but it definitely, to me, would have made the figure a little bit better. But overall, if you want to get your hands on it, it's a $20 figure. It's not like you're spending a whole lot of money buying this guy. He's gonna look cool on your shelf, and if you don't look at it too hard, it's not going to look like a bad figure. It could potentially scale in with some of your imports, but the majority of them, no, because we all know that Deku's supposed to be short. This figure is going to be on the taller side, but it's okay. I dig it. If I had to rate it, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. We'll go with 6 out of 10. So yeah, but overall, that's my review. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell icon so you're notified whenever I upload new content. And last but not least, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye.